back, everybody. So the first team that we're going to talk about in today's AL Central rundown is going to be the Detroit Tigers. They finished last in the division last season, so they have the honor of going first. They finished it with a record of 64-98, which is terrible. That was the worst record in the American League and tied for the worst record in baseball. Yeah, that's bad. That's a win percentage of .395. So, yeah, not good for the Tigers at all. And it's kind of wild because you think about where they were just a couple years back, and I mean, they were in 2013, they were competing with the Red Sox in the ALCS. I mean, they were the favorites in that series, I'm not going to lie. And here we are 5 years later, and they are tied for the worst record in all of baseball, which is, I mean, pretty wild if you think of it. Like, how did you get here? It's, you know, don't want to blame it all on one person, but Dave Dombrowski depleting the farm system certainly didn't help any. Let's take a look at who they got. Their starting pitching is probably their strongest point. They have Michael Fulmer, who did really well for them. I think he was he a rookie this season? He was either a rookie last season and won the Rookie of the Year, or a rookie this season and came and was good for them. He was a rookie 2 years ago because Aaron Judge won the Rookie of the Year this year. So 2 years ago, he was the Rookie of the Year, I believe. A very good starting pitcher for them, and he's only 24. So he's their ace right now because Justin Verlander left. And they don't have, and Max Scherzer is gone to Washington. He's been with Washington for a couple of years now. So Michael Fulmer is the new ace of the Detroit Tigers. They also have Jordan Zimmerman, starting pitcher. He was hurt. He came over from Washington, but he's been pretty good for them. They have Anibal Sanchez, who's a free agent this year. They have, let's see who else they have. Mike Fiers. He's listed as a relief pitcher, but he did some starting work for the Houston Astros there. And then Daniel Norris is also listed as a starting pitcher. Okay. They also have in the bullpen, they've got Alex Wilson, Shane Green, who was a Yankee for a little while. They've got... Chad Bell. I mean, and that's the high point of this team is the pitching, I would say. Catchers, they've got James McCann and Brian Holiday. Okay. And then a big problem with the Tigers is they have a lot of these superstars who are just hanging around making money and not really producing. I mean, they've got Miguel Cabrera, but he's been hurt. They've got Victor Martinez, who's 39, and Miguel Cabrera is 34. Victor Martinez is 39. He's their DH for him. They also don't have a lot of, like the recognizable names kind of stop there. They've got Nicholas Castellanos at third base for him. They've got Jose Iglesias at shortstop, but I heard somewhere that he might be leaving. I'll have to check on that. And that's pretty much it for the recognizable names on the infielders. I mean, I don't even know who these guys are. John Hicks, Dixon Machado, Nico Goodrum. Like, I have never heard of these guys. I don't know who these people are. And then you move to the outfielders, and you have Mikey Matuk, who was Ray for a little bit. Leonis Martin, who I'm sure you all recognize from his work with Seattle. And then they have Tyler Collins, who is perhaps most famous for flipping off the camera and the fans when he was playing for the Tigers. A couple years back, I believe, and so he failed to make some kind of catch for the Tigers, and the crowd started booing him, and he flipped off the crowd and was making obscene gestures, and they caught him on camera doing it. Not a great look for Tyler Collins there, but he's still with the team. So, I mean, I think that tells you a lot about this Tiger team. There's not really much to talk about with the Tigers here. They have their glory days are kind of gone, I think, and it's a process of kind of building this team back up from scratch. I think once Miguel Cabrera is gone and once Victor Martinez is gone, it's going to be easier. But I mean, it's it's a tough. The pitching, it's okay. Like, you have Michael Fulmer. I think maybe you look to trade Michael Fulmer and get some pieces. Maybe you look to trade Jordan Zimmerman, do the same thing there. Maybe somebody wants to take on Miguel Cabrera's contract or something. But I think this team is not going to win now, and I don't think they're going to win for a long time. You look at Minnesota; they're getting better. Cleveland, obviously, at the top of the division. Also, Kansas City is always around. They play 500 ball. The White Sox are kind of building up, I guess. Like, I don't know what they're doing. I don't think they know what they're doing, but we'll talk about them next. But the Tigers are really at the bottom of this division, and they're probably going to be there for a good long time. Sorry to say to Tiger fans out there. I mean, especially once Justin Verlander left last season, it was kind of like, goodbye. But yeah, they're gonna have to start rebuilding at some point. Not sure when that's gonna be. Not sure how eager they are to change. But yeah, this is not the Tigers' year. I think that's fair to say. Give me a call. I want to hear your thoughts on the Tigers. We're going to talk about the White Sox next, so if you want to get a jump on that, give me a call. 509-335-2207. We're going to jump back into some more music here. All right, we are back. We just got done talking about the Detroit Tigers, and now we're going to talk about the Chicago White Sox. I mean, not really sure what there is to say about the Chicago White Sox. This is kind of a depressing team, I'm not going to lie. The starting pitching, you've got Carlos Rodon, James Shields. Yes, that James Shields. I mean, they traded Jose Quintana at the end of last season, or was it the end? I don't think it was, like, in the middle of last season. He went to the Cubs, and that was kind of it for the White Sox. The White Sox haven't been good for a while now. As long as I have been watching, I don't think they've been very good. They've got Danny Farquhar in the bullpen now, who I'm sure you all know used to play for the Mariners. They've got the infield is probably their strong point. They've got Jose Abreu at first base, who won Rookie of the Year a couple years back. Tim Anderson, who is pretty solid. Yoan Moncada, who the Red Sox actually dealt to the White Sox in exchange for Chris Sale last season. And he is supposed to be like this superstar prospect, a Yoenis Cespedes kind of guy, is going to hit, great defense. We'll see. When he was with the Red Sox, he brought him up for a little bit. He couldn't hit the off-speed stuff, so we will see. I think last season went kind of okay for him. I think he was hurt for a little while, but that's where we are there. He hasn't, developed into that superstar yet, but we're still waiting. He's only 3 years older than I am, so he's only 22. How old am I? He's only 22. So, I mean, you can hang on for a couple more years there. Tyler Saladino, okay. And then you look in the outfield, and they made history last year. They started 3 guys with the last name of Garcia in their outfield. So you have Avisail, Lurie, and Willie, all Garcias, which I thought was kind of funny. But I mean, the outfield, there's you have all these guys who you just don't know who they are. And, the White Sox and the Tigers are, trying to put together these teams, and nothing's really happening for them. Let's see what the White Sox record was last season. It was 67-95. So that's 3 games better than the Tigers record. But, I mean, the White Sox I don't see contending. I think they're farther along in that rebuild process. I think they really want to. They really are hoping Yoan Moncada is going to do big things for them. But it's a time will tell kind of thing. This is also not the White Sox year. We can cross that off the list. The AL Central is kind of depressing. I mean, you've got the Twins are getting better, and then Cleveland, obviously. Kansas City's kind of, right around 500, as I said earlier, but there's not much to talk about with the White Sox because they are what they are, and the Tigers, same thing. If you have some great insight on the White Sox or the Tigers or anything really, give me a call, 509-335-2207. Let's get some conversations going. I'm interested to see what you guys are saying. We're on for about an hour and a half more, so yeah, give me a call, 509-335-2207. All right, we are back, and we are going to talk about the team that finished in third place in the AL Central last season. That would be the Kansas City Royals. So they finished the year at 80 and 82, which is going to be, it's 494 is the percentage, so that's right under 500. And so we're going to take a look at how they got there and how I think they're going to do next season. So let's start with the pitching staff. They have got Ian Kennedy, question mark? Yes, Ian Kennedy. They've got Jason Hamill and Danny Duffy as your main guys there. So once again, we're looking, we have a bit of a pattern here with the AL Central. We don't really have that ace who really stands out on this team, and that was true with the Tigers and the White Sox as well. In the bullpen, they've got Kelvin Herrera, who some will remember got in that little tiff with Mike Trout a few years back. My sister can attest to that. My sister loves Mike Trout, and so she knows all about these things. Yeah, I mean, he's the closer for the Royals right now. They haven't really, they won the World Series a couple years back. They beat the Mets. It was 2015. They just had the World Series film on MLB Network last night. Me and Anna, who called in earlier, we were watching a movie last night, and so that was what was on after that. And she was like, I'm going to bed. I'm not staying up and watching the 2015 World Series film with you, Hannah. And so, anyway, after they won that 2015 World Series, they won that series with offense and with the bullpen that they had there. And a lot of their offensive pieces are still in place as of, right now. Mike Moustakas and Eric Hosmer might be leaving soon. Alex Gordon, who has also played for them, is nowhere, he's nowhere near the player he used to be. Is he even on the active roster still? He is. But not the player that he was when they won the World Series in 2015. But they really won that series based on their bullpen. And they had Wade Davis, and they had Greg Holland, and then they had Kelvin Herrera. And they no longer have Wade Davis. They no longer have Greg Holland. And so Wade Davis is with, he's still with Chicago, I believe, and then I think Greg Holland is with the Rockies. But they've been kind of depleted there, and so they're just kind of left with these guys. They have Salvador Perez, who is a perennial all-star catcher. There we go. They have in the infield, they don't really, they've got Whit Merrifield and Hunter Dozier, Cheslor Cuthbert. That's a name for you. He actually did pretty well for them last year. And then in the outfield, you have Alex Gordon and Billy Burns. Wow. Jorge Soler, who came over from the Cubs in the Wade Davis trade, I believe. And then their designated hitter is Brandon Moss, who has floated around a little bit. Did Lorenzo Cain leave? Because I don't see him on the active roster. Let's take a peek. It says he's a free agent right now. He's not on the roster because he's a free agent. That would be why. And as is Mike Moustakas. So Mike Moustakas, Lorenzo Cain, and Eric Hosmer were really the three guys who kind of propelled the Royals to that World Series victory in 2015, and they are all free agents this year. Nobody's been signed. They're still all out there. So it's interesting to see, because as I said earlier, this has been a cold, hot stove season. So I think it'll be interesting to see where they land. It's doubtful they end up back with Kansas City. Perhaps Eric Hosmer does. And this is another instance. We talked about this in the previous hour of how the Orioles waited too long to trade off their players and really get something back for them. The same thing happened with the Royals. They could have made trades second half of last season when players were looking at, specifically when players were looking at Mike Moustakas, and some people were looking at Eric Hosmer, and they said, no, we still believe we have a chance to win this, and they just wasted this opportunity to have these players actually mean something, and now they're just going to lose them to free agency. And so that's a lesson, kids. If you're looking to go into management positions, general managers, or other front office staff members, think. I mean, I obviously you want to keep the fans happy, and these are guys who have been with your team for a long time, and if you trade them away, you're kind of waving the white flag, but you also have to think about the future. And the Royals' future is not very good. I mean, they were only two games under 500 last season, but that was with Moustakas and Hosmer and Kane, and so you really wonder what's going to happen with the Royals this season, and I don't think it's going to be good. But they are in a weaker division, obviously, with the Tigers and the White Sox that we've already gone over, so I think it'll be interesting to see. I don't think this is the Royals here either, but we'll see. Savannah Rogers just walked into the studio, and I am very excited to have her on for the next hour. If you don't know Savannah, she has been on before. She's a fabulous lady. So we are going to play a couple more songs. I'm going to get her all set up on the microphones, and then we'll be back. I'm sure we're going to talk about the Mariners, or the Seahawks, or the Cougs. If you want to call in and talk to me and Savannah, 509-335-2207. We're going to jump back into some more music here. Little country background music there for you. You like it?
No.
Savannah Rogers is in the studio with us, folks. It's so good to see you.
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm great. My microphone is giving me agita.
Giving you what?
Agita?
What does that mean?
It's just like it's having a tough time here.
It's having its moment.
I don't know what it's doing.
It's just being a diva.
There we go. It's good. It's so good to see you.
It's so good to see you. Long time no see.
I know. We had a 3-week break here for winter break. As I break the microphone.
No, good.
And me and Sab both came back on Friday night. So
amazing.
It's great to see you again.
So good to see you. Wow, been a long time. How many hours since we saw each other this morning?
Wow. Sab just got back from Costco, so tell us about your Costco run.
Oh, man. So, this is the third grocery trip that I've made since being back, and I'm still making one tonight.
Wow. Where are you going?
Going to Winco.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So, because there's still things we need to pick up.
Right.
But went to Costco. Main reason is I need new glasses. I got contacts when I was in 5th grade.
Wow.
And then I got my first pair of glasses my senior year of high school.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so that prescription is I'm having to squint really hard, and I really can't see with them, so.
What's your prescription?
It used to be, my old glasses, I think, were, negative 1.25 in each eye.
Wow.
And now I'm up to, negative 3 or something.
I'm going to tell you something that's going to shake you. Because I know we joke that I'm blind all the time.
Because a negative 0.5?
Mine is a negative 5.25.
What?
Yeah.
She really is blind, folks.
Holy cow. Anna Somerville just texted. She says, tell you hello.
Oh, thank you, Anna. Another roomie. Another one bit the dust. We lost another roommate.
We did. So we've had some problems this year. So we live in a 4-person suite. And so Sav and Anna both have singles, and then I have a double.
Yeah.
And when we moved in, we were supposed to have another roommate my roommate.
Yeah.
But she never showed up.
Well, and it was supposed to be Hannah, Anna, Savannah, and then another girl named Anna. So we're like, Anna, Savannah, Hannah. How is this going to work?
But she never showed up, and like I Facebook friended her, never heard from her.
We all texted her,
Nobody ever.
So weird.
It was crazy. And so I had my own room for about like 6 weeks, and and then I got another roommate. Her name was Sydney.
Wonderful gal.
Loved her so much.
We still love Sydney.
We love Sydney.
And she didn't move out because she hated us. She really did. I don't think. She told us that
she might have hated me.
She may have hated all of us. Who knows? But she did go to move in with her cousin, who she's like best friends with. So it's understandable. Like if I lived with random people I didn't know, and I had the option to live with my best friend, I'd live with my best friend. Right. It makes sense. But I just said at the same time.
Wow.
Connection.
No doubles, please.
There can only be one.
So we are waiting to hear about our roommate number 3. Officially. I haven't heard anything. Classes start tomorrow, so
fingers crossed we never get one.
I know.
If our future roommate is listening to this, so sorry. But as of right now, we really don't want one.
I know. That would be
great. It'd be great. Well, and the thing is if anybody has lived, I mean, it's one thing to live with a roommate, when you first come to college, it's still fun, but what's so hard, and I think what's really hard for you, or what would be hard for me if I was in your position, is going from living alone to living with someone, to living alone to living with someone, because I don't think I could go back to living with a roommate and everything. Like, I think the next time that I technically have a roommate, I'll be living with, like, a boyfriend, a fiancé, a husband, whatever it may be. But I don't think that I could, like, you know what I mean? So I feel like that's what's so hard for you. You're just having, like, you're not being able to, like, get settled, and then you're able to, decorate your side of the room, but then, what if this person comes in and they're like, hey, by the way, I'm a Yankees fan.
Oh, boy. Well, I did my freshman year, which was just last year.
So ironic.
I had a freshman. I was the first one. I was the first one to get there. Not of the suite, because there were 8 of us. Oh my god. Of me and my roommate, I was the first one to get there. Her name is Maya, and we love Maya.
We do.
Just the best. The most wholesome person you'll ever meet.
True. 2.2 out of 2 stars.
Right. And so I go in there and I set up all my stuff, and we had agreed I'd take the bottom bunk, so I have a Red Sox comforter and I put up all my Red Sox stuff.
The shrine.
And then she gets there. I think she got there like a day later, and she walks in and she was like, oh hi, like I'll come out and say hello, like I just got to put my stuff in the room. And then she comes out and she has this weird look on her face and she's like, are you a Red Sox fan?
And you're like, no duh.
And I was like, oh yeah, I am. And then she was like, I'm a Yankee fan. And I was like, oh girl, my goodness. But it worked out. She's great. I love Maya. Would room with her again in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, I would too.
The best gal.
She's a really easy person to live with. She's very easygoing.
She's so cool. I love her. We still hang out.
Yeah.
Great member of the Truck 10.
True 10.
What was I gonna say? Oh, about the roommate thing. It is tough because it's like learning someone else's like habits and like having to go through this over and over again. It's just like annoying, and
it's tiresome. Yeah. So if you're planning on moving into honors and you are assigned to Suite 240, maybe change your plans.
Yeah.
Unless you're great, we will welcome you with open arms. We will love you.
If you're a lovely lady,
but just no passiveness. Yeah. We need a fierce female friend.
Yes, that's all we're looking for.
Just a fierce female friendships. All we need. All we want.
Yes. Someone to laugh with. Someone who enjoys the memes.
Yeah. Even if you don't enjoy the memes, that's okay. Just let us know. We're pretty easygoing. We are.
Who will laugh at my bad jokes. Yeah. It's okay. I laugh at my own jokes. It's funny. Whenever I make a bad joke, I laugh, and then I'm like, I'm so funny.
They're not actually good. Yeah, they're
bad.
They're really bad jokes, but they're not even intended to be bad jokes. Like, they're intended to be good jokes.
Right.
And then they're so terrible that Anna Somerville ends up crying laughing on the couch because it's so uncomfortable. I
would tell the one I told last night, but it's not appropriate for the radio. Do you remember the one last night?
Yes, well, that's the one I'm talking. So, Hannah will just say things which make zero sense. So I was trying to make a joke. So my joke was I don't even remember. Oh, it was what did the mushroom's girlfriend say after they made out? And she goes, wow, that was a fun kiss. And Hannah said something else which is totally unrelated and really weird and
inappropriate for radio.
I left the room and Anna cried laughing, and that's how the joke went over.
Yeah. But so I do things like that all the time. I laugh.
Yeah.
I'm a fun. I love making myself laugh.
So I actually have a couple of questions for you as well.
Oh, yes, go for it.
I'll be honest, I have not been following the sports as of lately, unfortunately. You know, I really didn't get into the NFL season this year. Big fan of college football.
Right.
But, you know, I just kind of closed my eyes after the Stanford game. No, after the Stanford game? After the Stanford game, I kind of just tuned out a little bit. Not on purpose. I don't think that my heart could bear it. I think I would have a premature heart disease. And
you knew the Cougs peaked, and then you were like, "This is it. It's a season.
What a great season. I don't remember anything else." Really and truly, I'm like, well, that's maybe after the USC game even. That's kind of when I was just like, I blocked everything out. I was over. Like, what an amazing season. We went 5-0.
Yep.
But yeah, so. You know, haven't been following very much else, so I wanted to talk to you.
Yes.
Because it's the beginning of the new year.
Right.
And I wanted to see if you had any New Year's resolutions.
Oh, I do.
And if so, what they are. Talk to me.
Number one resolution is to be a better Mariners fan.
Oh.
Because as you know, it's their year. And so I recently...
It's their year until it's not.
Right. I recently joined a Facebook group. Oh! It's diehard Mariners fans.
Oh, wow.
I changed my Facebook profile picture to have a True to the Blue...
Oh, my goodness. You are on track.
I really am focused about getting on the right track with the Mariners.
I feel it.
You know how people, like, realign themselves with God? I'm realigning myself with the Mariners.
Your God? Your actual
yes.
God?
I love the Mariners a lot, and people think I'm facetious about that. I'm not. I love the Mariners.
I'm pretty sure you're being facetious right now.
I love the Mariners. That's all there is to it. That's my number one resolution. Number two is to get in shape.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Always. Probably one of the number one resolutions of all people.
Yeah. Me and one of my other friends, Hannah, we're doing a little Biggest Loser competition with her family. So I'm excited to win because I love winning. I have to stop eating chocolate. But
can I get in on this? Actually, what?
I'm sure you can.
Okay.
We'll dial up Hannah. I think she's in the air right now because she's flying over.
Yeah. But I'll shoot her a text.
Yes. So those are my two resolutions. What else? Hang out with my friends more, maybe? Yeah. I love hanging out with my friends. What about you? Do you have any resolutions?
I actually have a couple, yeah. One of them... So I have 4 main ones.
Okay.
And so one of the ones that I'm having a really busy upcoming semester.
Okay.
And so it seems like super unattainable for like it might seem like, oh, that's very drastic, but I want to have a 4.0 this semester.
Yes, queen.
It is obtainable for me. Like I had a 4.0 last semester. Mm-hmm. I've had one every spring semester. Mm-hmm. So it's not even something that like I have to go above and beyond to do. I just have to make sure that my priorities continue to be school.
Queen.
Because with how busy this semester is going to be, I know that if I slack off, like I can slack off a little bit and still get a 4.0, which sounds really, like it sounds really self-centered or self-absorbed, but I know myself and I know the classes that I'm taking. So, just making sure that, I don't even need to like make it, priority, like study all the time. Just making sure I turn in my homework and I don't pull in, whatever, like it's not going to hurt my grade.
Right.
Like as long as I like do the work and go to class, I'm good. So like just not skipping class, staying on top of my homework, trying to like not saving it for Sunday and also saving laundry and Costco and, everything else for Sunday when that's super not realistic. And being realistic with what I can do and what I can't do. So that's one. Another one is just being healthier. So not just physically, but emotionally. I had a really hard semester last semester. And not just hard in the sense of like, oh, my classes were hard, or even like nothing bad really happened. Just emotionally, I was really down in the dumps. Just consistently sad.
Big mood,
yeah. So I really just want to up, just keep my mental health improving. It's improved since Thanksgiving break. It's really been on the uptick. So keeping that improve through, I'm not a journaler, but listening to podcasts, making lists to stay on top of things, spending time with my friends, talking with my family, and staying off social media, because social media I enjoy. Actually, it's not that toxic for me. Like it can be toxic for some people, and it's toxic sometimes when I get into like a bad self-esteem mode, where I'm like, oh, I wish I looked like her, I wish I was thinner, all that stuff. So you know, for the most part, I just go on Twitter and it's funny with memes, and I feel actually empowered because I see all these pro-female, feminist, like, you can do anything type of tweets, but just not spending my time on it because it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
It really is.
It is.
So, not doing that. Another one is staying more organized.
Very nice.
And, you know, I cannot remember my last one. I think it's just being healthier physically with, like, you know, I don't even need to be eating, like, veggies every meal, just making sure I'm eating 3 meals and not eating at 11 p.m.
Right.
And, because I think that one thing that's difficult for me and for all New Year's resolutions is that people are like, oh, I'm going to, you know, lose 40 pounds in a month or something, like, not obtainable. And they're like, okay, how are you going to do that? Like, it's one thing. There's actually studies have shown, there's a study somewhere, some university, and they took 3 different groups of students. They took one group of students and they said, okay, you know, what is your goal? Like, tell us what your goal is. And they tell them your goal. Or no, it wasn't even that. It was with tests. Okay. So they had you envision doing well on the test. Okay. So that was group number 1. It was just envision doing well on the test. Group number 2 was envision doing well on the test and then write down 3 things that you're going to do well on the test. And the third group, they did nothing.
Okay.
And so the group that envisioned doing well on the test and wrote down what they were going to do that well on the test, they got the top scores. But what's funny is the group that they did nothing with actually outperformed the group that only envisioned doing well, because what they found is that when you only envision doing well, you feel like you've done enough, and so you don't actually follow through, you don't do enough. It's kind of like with voting. So if you're, you know, canvassing, you're going door to door, and you say, hey, are you going to vote, Hannah? And you're like, oh, sure, I'd love to vote. That actually doesn't mean that you're going to vote.
Right.
And actually, it can sometimes lead to people not voting and then they'll feel guilty about it. But if you say, hey, Hannah, are you going to vote? And you say, yeah, I'm going to vote. You say, okay, how are you going to vote? And you're like, oh, well, you know, I'm going to go, you know, take the bus at my lunch. I'm quoting stuff Mom never told you right now. The How Stuff Works podcast. I'm literally quoting this verbatim because I listened to one that they were talking about this, and they were talking about goals and intentions. And that even just thinking about how you're going to obtain that goal, not just what your goal is, makes it more obtainable. Fun fact.
That's great.
So
I love that.
If you have a New Year's resolution, not just think about what your goal is, but think about how you're going to obtain that goal and what you're going to do, even if it's only 3 steps, and it will actually benefit you.
That's great. I think we're going to play a little bit more music here, but are you going to stick around?
Of course. I will be here through the end of the show.
Yes, that's great. Maya just texted me.
Anna just texted me.
That's very great. Oh, so Anna, if you're listening, I told her to listen because I'm going to give her a shout out here. Well, so Anna told me about this great song, and so I wanted to play it for her, but there's like I have to say something. So anyway, here's Wonderwall. Just a little funky beat.
What is this?
It's a little funky beat for the intro.
Better than country. I'll give you that. It's better than the country.
All right. So Sav here has agreed to talk some baseball with us.
I'll do my best.
So we're going to keep rolling with the AL Central preview/predictions. We're going to talk about the Minnesota Twins first.
Woohoo! Minnesota. How do I? Minnesota. There you go.
Oh,
Minnesota. That's how it's pronounced.
Let's take a look at their starting rotation first.
Okay.
Obviously, they finished second. They got the wild card, but they lost to the Yankee in the wild card. The Yankee won Yankee team. They've got Ervin Santana as their ace, but again, this is a trend with the Central. Nobody has an ace in the Central.
Ace with quotation marks.
Michael Pineda, who just came over from the Yankees, in fact. Phil Hughes, who was also a Yankee. I'm sensing a theme.
We gotta be like them. Just recruits all of their players.
Kyle Gibson, and then Jose Barrios, who is on the up-and-coming star list, I believe.
Is he a rookie this year?
Let's take a peek. I think he was a rookie this year. Yes, he was.
Wow. Rookie.
Oh, wait. No, he was a rookie last year.
JK.
But that's okay. I don't know if
he win that Rookie of the Year award.
Right, but that's okay. The bullpen, is what it is. But they just acquired Fernando Rodney, who you may remember was a Mariner. Seems like everyone was a Mariner at some point.
And they're like, oh, gotta get out of here. Gotta start winning. It's so true. I'm so sorry. Mariners. Okay, the issue with the Mariners is they have amazing players and the worst managerial staff that coaches them horribly. So all these amazing players look terrible on the Mariners, and they're traded away, and then they're successful everywhere else.
Yep.
It kills me.
That's tea.
We just need to crush everyone who's not an actual player.
Yes.
And replace them. I'll take John Farrell. I'll do it. I'll take him. Even I'll take John Farrell as in my grandpa John Farrell, not even Red Sox manager John Farrell. If you're listening, Grandpa, I would have you manage the Mariners before anyone else.
I mean, tea.
Hey, if he can manage a pizza restaurant or multiple pizza restaurants at one time,
oh boy,
then that's all it takes, right?
Yes, that's it.
It's like that guy who tried to run for president who owned
Herman Cain. Yeah, yes, Herman Cain. My favorite. He owned Godfather's pizza chains, and he was like,
how can you be reliable to the American people? He's like, when you order a pizza, it shows up and it's hot and it's ready. Oh, Herman Cain.
Oh man.
Back to baseball.
The Twins in the infield, they've got perennial all-star second baseman Brian Dozier. They've also got long-time established veteran Joe Mauer.
Oh wow.
They've got Miguel Sano, who, you guessed it, he's in some trouble for some domestic sexual assault. Oh my,
get rid of him, Twins. Yes. Why is he still on your roster? Literally, why are we letting this slide by?
Ugh. There's so many of them. And so they're doing an investigation on it.
Good.
Yes.
The third strike.
Yeah.
You're out.
It should just be the first strike.
Thank you, yeah.
First strike, you're out.
First strike, you're out, yeah. When it comes to sexual assault,
you know
first
what?
strike, you're out.
It's 2018. Y'all better start respecting women.
Yeah. Yes.
That's the T. Including my brother.
Zach.
Start respecting women, Zach.
Begin with Hannah, Amanda, and Faith.
Yes.
Let's do this. Zach's not that bad.
Debatable. In the outfield,
he did score 2 points.
He scored 2 points in his basketball game yesterday.
We're proud of you, Zach.
So he respects,
better than zero.
He respects women. In the outfield, Byron Buxton, who is their great new center fielder, who had a little bit of trouble with the offense at the start of the season, but is coming around. And then they have Max Kepler, also in the outfield, who's German.
Wow.
Eddie Rosario, and then Kenny Vargas as their DH. I think, I called it that the Mariners are going to win the second wild card spot. So I think it would be tough for the Twins to do that, considering there's only 2 wild card spots, and one's going to go to the Red Sox and one's going to go to the Mariners, or the Red Sox or the Yankees, and then the other will go to the Mariners. So
wait, is this an actual prediction?
To see, oh yeah.
Okay.
Mariners are taking that second wild card spot.
Okay.
I have no doubt about it. And I do not think Minnesota is good enough to beat Cleveland. So
sorry, Minnesota. But hello, Minnesota. Hello, Ronald Steinhoff, my friend, who is from Minnesota, but he goes to University of Wisconsin in Madison.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Shout out to his sister as well, who just got married.
Oh my God, congrats!
Yep, don't know her name.
That's very exciting.
All I know about her is that she created a wedding website, and he had to create a little bio about himself. Oh! To me over the summer to try and figure it out.
I think I'm going to create a website for Turning Two Tunes, and then they'll be a little form where you can fill out to be on the show, because I love talking to people and having people in here.
Yeah. So we have a little sub bio for me.
Yes.
A bio for you, but be reoccurring guys.
We should do that, and we should have one for Anna too.
Oh yeah.
I told Hayden, who is Savannah's boyfriend, to call in, and he hasn't called in yet.
What's up?
He's listening.
We know you're listening.
He just sent me a picture of his laptop, and he's like, I went to Costco too. Thanks for asking. So call in. Call in, Hayden.
Call in. What is it? 509-335-2207?
That's it.
Oh, I memorized.
Sam got the number.
509-335-2207. You ready, Hayden? 509-335-2207.
So we're going to play some music, so he has time to call in. Yep. And then we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about the number 1 team in the AL Central, Cleveland, and how I think they're going to do next year.
Amazing.
Does that sound good? Hayden, you better call in. Everybody's waiting for you to call in.
We want to hear your thoughts on Cleveland.
Yes! And what your favorite kind of potato is, which we talked about earlier in the show.
He does have an opinion on that. He did tell me yesterday what his favorite potato is.
Okay, then you gotta call in.
Or I will tell everyone. I will spoil it for you.
509-335-2207. We're gonna jump back into some more music here. Hayden, we're waiting on you. Do you like this one?
Seems very, it's pretty, alternative rock, early 2000s.
This is what I used for... Do you remember when I would do the, Is It Our Year segment?
Nope.
Yes, I used to do that. I would answer every week when baseball was still going on. If it was the Mariners' year, that was the intro music for that.
The question and the answer.
We're going to talk about the number 1 team in the AL Central last season, Cleveland. But first, we're going to talk about...
Wow, they have a successful team?
Yes!
Cleveland's got to have one.
First, we're going to talk about something we said a little earlier. We were yelling at Hayden, Savannah's boyfriend, to call in.
I'm so sorry. I love you.
And
I'm so sorry. I forgot he had a meeting that started 10 minutes ago. So we're yelling at him to call in, and turns out he's in a meeting. Right. And I even texted him the number to call in.
I also texted him the number. I said, do it, and then I texted him the number, and now we know he's in a meeting.
I've known about the meeting all day.
What is his favorite potato?
He's a big fan of Yukon Gold potatoes.
Really?
Yeah. Well, so...
mashed, or...
he likes potatoes anyway.
Okay. Raw? Just like...
No, he actually can't eat them raw, so he can't cut up potatoes, raw potatoes. They actually lead to, an allergic reaction.
Oh my God.
They get red and itchy. But he can't have most raw vegetables. He can't have, raw carrots, raw celery. He can't have raw potatoes.
I didn't know that!
Yeah, he's got, allergies. He has an EpiPen for it.
Oh my God!
He found out because one day he was home alone. No one was there. And he's like, let me just eat a stalk of celery. That sounds really good. And he had an allergic reaction. And he's like, I'll just tough it out until someone gets home. Oh my God. And he has an EpiPen for this. So it's not like a little mini allergy. It's like an allergy. He didn't die, obviously. It is a Hayden thing that'll be like, hey, I'll tough it out until someone... I won't call anyone. I'll just tough it out until people get home. And they didn't get home for 3 hours. And he was just,
So there you go, folks. Don't eat raw vegetables because you might be allergic.
Just don't eat vegetables in general.
Yes. Sorry, Hayden. Sorry, Grandpa. That's my B. Now we're going to talk about Cleveland, now that we've gotten that out of the way. Cleveland finished first. They won 102 games last season.
Wow, that's really good.
But
have the Mariners ever hit the 100 mark?
They have the record for the most wins in a single season.
Really?
Yes.
2001 season?
I think so.
Well, I
think they won 108. Why don't you look it up? How many games the Mariners?
Side note, just so everyone knows, when at the beginning of the 2001 season, my dad bought a 2001 Mariners baseball pack of playing cards, and he sold them at an auction for money.
Oh my God!
Yeah, he sold them in 2011 at one of my sister's robotics auctions, and they went for $300, I think. A 2001 players pack, but at the beginning of the season, it was huge.
I was wrong. The Mariners tied for the most wins in a single season. 116 games they won.
That's really impressive. Wow.
They lost 46 games. That's it.
That's really impressive.
That's a winning percentage of a lot. 71%. Whoa! 71% of their games.
That's huge. We were just happy with 50% this year.
The Tigers, who tied for the worst record in baseball this year, had a 39% winning record.
So wait, how many did we win this past year? Do you know?
Oh, not a lot.
But who did we tie with, by the way? Who did we tie with? You said that we tied with.
Oh, the 1906 Chicago Cubs.
Wow. Oh my God. Well, honestly, then we might be going to the playoffs because it was the Cubs last year.
Yeah.
And now
that was 2 years ago, actually, because
I'm so bad.
Oh my God, who won this? Oh my God, who? The Astros won the World Series this year. I was like, oh my God, who won the World Series this year?
So dumb.
The Mariners were 86-76 this year, which is a winning record of 531. That seems too high.
Yeah.
That's not right.
That can't be right.
That was too high. 78 48 and 84.
There it is.
There we go. 481. I was like, that's not right.
48% sounds a lot.
It's the Mariners' year, though.
It is.
The Mariners' year. Cleveland, they won 102 games last season. Obviously, you've got that great pitching staff. You've got Corey Kluber. You've got Carlos Carrasco, Trevor Bauer. You know, everybody's, you know.
Let's go, Cleveland. Yeah, everyone.
Great bullpen with Andrew Miller and Cody Allen. All those guys. Also got Danny Salazar coming in wherever you need him. In the infield, catcher, they've got Yan Gomes. They've got infielders. They just acquired Yonder Alonso from the Mariners, so I think that'll be interesting because they lost Santana. Carlos Santana? It was Santana. I can't remember his first name.
Santana. I can't remember his first name.
They've also got shortstop Francisco Lindor, Jose Ramirez. Oh my God, Rob Refsnyder. That's my favorite player.
Oh my gosh!
He played for the Yankees for a while.
Well, her favorite team is now
She's
Cleveland.
going to be very happy that because he did play for the Blue Jays.
Oh, we hate the Blue Jays.
Right.
I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know why I hate the Blue Jays but I really hate the Blue Jays.
They're just obnoxious.
Well, I think it's because it's Canada.
Yeah.
Even though I love Canada so much, but I love Vancouver and Victoria. I'm not a big. I've never been to Toronto, so I can't really say anything about it. But
they've also got Michael Brantley, Brandon Guyer, Tyler Naquin in that outfield, and then Edwin Encarnacion as a DH. They're going to win the AL Central again, unless the Twins do something miraculous. And
honestly, they might win the World Series. Who knows?
Who knows? I think the Astros and the Yankees are better, and the Red Sox. I have to say that.
We'll see. We'll be doing another betting pool, right?
Yes, of course. Every year we do a playoff. Every year, and by every year, I mean the past 2 years that I've known these people for.
Every year
we do. I have everybody pick their bracket for the World Series there in the playoffs.
Very fun.
Yeah. So that's the AL Central rundown for you. Cleveland's gonna win it. The rest of the division, I don't know. Maybe the Twins. I don't know. It'd be like a feel-good story, but they're so streaky.
We'll make a Lifetime movie about it.
Yes.
If they win, and it will star you and me. Not them, you and me.
But the Tigers and the White Sox and the Royals,
they're out.
Yeah, it's not looking good for them. It's not their year.
It's really not.
But it is the Mariners' year.
Always.
I love the Mariners. We only have 10 minutes left in the show.
Well, the past hours have gone by pretty quick.
I know. It's great having you up here. I've been on the air for 4 hours now.
That's huge.
I'm tired.
I think this is the longest time that you've been on air.
It is.
The longest time I've been on air was over an hour, maybe.
Wow.
Really? Well, because I do an hour show 2 times a week.
Right.
So not just once a week. But
it's
great.
It is great. I'll play one last song, maybe 2 more songs. We'll see how much time. And then we'll hop on and say goodbye. That works with you.
That works great.
All right. Well, again, sorry, Hayden, for dragging you on the radio, but
we didn't really drag him. We just were very adamant that he called in. So,
yes.
Sorry, love.
You're a real one, Hayden. Here's some more music. Soft melody.
I actually don't mind this one.
This is what I end the show on.
This one's really good, yeah. I'm a big fan. Not a big fan of the show ending, though.
I know. It's very sad. But we do have to say goodbye. Which is sad, because I love hanging out with you guys.
It's always a great time.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, it was my pleasure. I absolutely love coming on the show, love being on the radio.
I need to get more people in here because I love doing it. I just love talking to people. And so thank you to Anna Somerville for calling in.
Thank you, Anna. We'll see you at
home. Thanks to everyone in Arlington for listening. Zach, who just called to inform me that he was listening.
Zach.
Respect women, Zach.
You're doing great, Zach. We believe in you.
You can do it.
And we know that you do respect women, but always keep it up.
Yes.
Because you can never go wrong.
Yes.
Respecting women.
Just go crazy.
It will never harm you in any way, shape, or form. Ever. Just respecting all people, but also women.
Hopefully.
We're really emphasizing women here.
Yes. Hopefully you'll drop more than 2 points in your next game. We believe in you. Examine for 40. We'll see.
First. Sorry, it's the only basketball thing I know. I'm sorry, Zach.
Thank you so much to everybody who's listening on the live stream on the radio. We've been on for 4 hours, so if you've hung with us this whole time, We got some devoted fans out there.
We appreciate you.
Thanks to Nicole Somerville for listening.
Nicole, wow, one of my favorite parents.
Yes. And she called in, or she told Anna about her favorite potato as well.
Nicole?
She did.
What is her favorite type of potato?
It's a tie between these French fries at this place in Olympia and McDonald's fries with extra salt and Taco Time Mexi fries with ranch.
Okay, I actually never shared my favorite potato.
Oh, go for it.
I'm gonna go in. My favorite type of potato, in the form of just like make your own potato, I like russet potatoes made into mashed potatoes.
Oh, boy.
And when I mean mashed, I don't mean like a hand masher. I mean boil them, put some butter and cream in there, and get a hand mixer and whip those bad boys. Not too starchy, but fluffy enough. Or I'm also a very big fan of McDonald's French fries, because who isn't? That stuff is so good. It's addictive.
I just got a text message. We have a request for a shout out.
Oh, okay.
And it comes from Stephen Berggren and Kenyon Wilson.
Stephen, Kenyon! They're driving across the state. Can they hear us now?
They are. They said they're listening.
Oh my gosh! Welcome. They are finally in the area.
I know! They can hear us.
They must have made it to Vantage.
Yes. What can we say about Stephen and Kenyon? Great couple.
Really wonderful. I got to spend New Year's with Kenyon and her best friend Katie. Katie has a baller house. Everyone knows that. But if you didn't, Katie has a baller house. Kenyon is amazing. She's incredibly kind.
Yes.
She is very intelligent as a
So smart.
So smart. Stephen was actually my first friend here at WSU.
Stephen's a nerd.
Total nerd, but I thought he hated me at first.
How did you think Stephen hated you?
You know, I was just a really uncomfortable person. And I'm pretty sure Stephen is at times too, and just two uncomfortable people just makes for
the way that I knew me and Stephen were going to be friends is one of the first times, because last year he came down to the
Stephen texts, I didn't hate you. I really did think that you did, Stephen. But mainly because I met Stephen, Michael, one of Michael's ex-girlfriends, and then another one of their friends. I think his name was like Forrest or something. And he said only love. Well, I gave them, because I was like, wow, these are cool people, and I wasn't trying to like be weird, but I was like, here's my phone number, text me so we can like get dinner or whatever, like hang out. And then I think that they like forgot it, and they like left it there, and that really made me uncomfortable, because my phone number was just like sitting somewhere randomly with my name on it. And so I thought that, and Stephen never texted me.
Wow.
So
he actually,
I just wanted to be friends.
So the way that he and Kenyon and all of us met was we lived in Suite 230.
That's where I lived for sure.
He lived down the hall, and he actually came over, and like the first time I met him, I was watching a Red Sox Yankee game, and he was like, oh, he said a bad word, the Yankees, go Red Sox, and I was like, yes, we're gonna be best friends.
Yep.
And then it was obvious he liked Kenyon from the start. So,
well, they met at Hayden's 20th birthday party, and it was really funny because earlier in that day, Kenyon had told me, I'll go very quickly, sorry. Earlier that day, Kenyon had told me that she didn't want to do anything with boys. She was like, I'm over boys, I'm sick of it, I'm being just a girl by myself without anything. Stephen comes up to me, same party, and goes, wow, I really like that girl, I should talk to her. And I said, Stephen, no, don't do that. Michael came up and said, Stephen, no, don't do that. You'll fall in love, you'll get crushed, she doesn't want to talk to any boys. He's like, I'm going to go for it. He's actually said a bad word, it. So he said, F it, I'm going to go for it. And he went for it, he shot his shot, and swish! He made it in. Congrats.
Yes. And
two of my fave people.
That is a great note to end on, of how much we just love Stephen and Kenyon and how great their relationship is.
All the people, but Stephen, you will forever be my first friend at WSU, and I care and appreciate you, and I care and appreciate you too, Kenyon.
Yes. Shout out to everybody in the Truck 10.
We love you all.
Shout out to everyone listening. Thank you all so much. I'll be back next Sunday.
I won't be here. Probably.
We'll see. I will see you back here next week for more Turning Two Tunes. Bye, guys.